Okay, welcome to the first video on my channel. I've been getting a lot of questions from riders regarding what it's like to drive for Uber and Lyft full time, so thought I'd make a video and just give my 2 cents, just in case it's able to help new drivers out there or anyone who's thinking about getting started driving with Uber. To give you a little bit of background, I've been doing this for about the last 2 months. I've completed the last 2 months pretty much every day from about 6:30 in the morning to anywhere from 6 to sometimes even 8 at night. So that's sort of the experience I'm coming from. And then as far as what I'm using is I'm driving a 2022 Tesla Model 3 long range all-wheel drive, or dual motor I should say. And then I've also got the Kua D30S dash cam that's able to record outside and then also the inside of the cabin at night with the infrared lights. So just wanted to go over a couple things. Technically this isn't my first video. I had one video up earlier, but turned out that thing went on for about 30 minutes, which no one probably watched the entire thing. So I just wanted to go over just a brief introduction of how things work, how I kind of do things, and hopefully it gives some people some ideas, and then definitely if there are any other veteran drivers out there that's willing to give some tips, definitely leave it in the comment section below, and I'm always open to new ways of doing things. So so first off, like a really brief introduction to how Uber and Lyft works. So I mean, I'm sure a lot of us have gotten rides through Uber and Lyft. So basically whenever you request a ride, it basically auctions off your ride to a bunch of different drivers. It sends it out there at different prices, and then whoever's willing to accept the ride for the lowest amount most likely is going to be the one that it matches with. I've noticed that sometimes it does match with people who are right next to you. So there's been a couple instances where I've dropped someone off and I was just kind of waiting or like checking the back seat, and then all of a sudden someone requests a ride, I hit match on it, and then it did give me that ride. But I don't think that it happens all the time. Now the important thing is you got to work out a system. So I'm down here in Southern California, like technically Northern Orange County. Anaheim is usually where I try to stick around, and business is pretty good. Like especially around the Disneyland area. I mean, there's definitely a lot of drivers that will go into that area just because it is such a busy location. But even with all of the drivers there's still a lot of work to go around. So ideally you would go somewhere where there's not a lot of drivers, but then at the same time realize that there's a reason why there's not a lot of drivers out there. So the one thing that you have to realize is that, like, you could be out here for 10 hours a day like I usually am. You could be out here for the 12 hours, which is the limit for Uber, and then I think Lyft sets the limit at like 10.5 hours. Now that's part of California's law where you can't drive more than that before you take at least a few hours break, and that's for safety, obviously. So you want to maximize the time and the effort, but also the energy. Normally with my Tesla, I have to charge it twice a day, which is what I'm doing right now, in order to get me through the full 10 hours. But you want to maximize that time and the energy. Every mile that you drive without a passenger in your car is potentially, you're losing money basically. And I'll post a picture right now, like the spreadsheet that I have going over. I don't think I can show the entire month, but at least the last week. So obviously, I mean, I'm filming this on a Monday. Monday was kind of slow, and I'm just, after a while, I just decided like I'm gonna call it an early night. But yeah, I mean, other times it could be really busy, and you might make a lot of money on days that you normally don't. So you really just have to work out your system. Just choose your rides carefully and wisely. Set your limits, because I can really do this all night. I mean, I'm literally fueled by the love of driving this car, caffeine, and a whole bunch of nicotine. So I mean, I've got enough caffeine and nicotine and snacks in this car right now to keep me going for the next 12, 16 hours. But obviously, I'm gonna physically start getting tired at some point, and yeah, it's just not smart. I mean, you got to be safe as possible, and more than that too. I mean, like, yeah, the safety is going to be the number one aspect, but then also if you're tired and you're not really feeling it, riders are going to notice it too. Tips in that regard is, it's going to be kind of hit or miss. I think the most I've made in tips in a night was about $100 because people were being really generous, but then other times maybe not so much, especially if you're picking up like students from a school. It's going to be a different story. I mean, today I think I didn't get many tips at all. But you know what though? The ride that you're accepting. So anything that you get on top of that is just a bonus. That's why, another reason why you have to choose your rides carefully. You have to, don't accept everything. Like, you can have 100% acceptance rate, but that really means nothing, because that could potentially mean that you're just accepting a bunch of like $3-4 rides, and you're gonna really, I mean, talk about a grind. I mean, I'm doing 60 hours a week right now on average, and I mean, that's gonna be really, really tough. So have a system in place, and it's gonna take time to figure out the system for the area that you want to stick around in. Because it's going to be different for everyone, and it's going to be different for different locations. I generally won't take rides that are under $5 unless I really, really need something to do, and I generally won't take rides that go beyond 10 miles, because I mean, if you're trying to stick within a certain area, that's just going to take you way too far out, and there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to get a ride back. So you got to be careful of that. Also, don't drive around aimlessly, because again, you're wasting time, you're wasting energy, and time and energy is all money wasted. Again, you want to have a ride back to back, ideally, but if that's not possible, then just park yourself in what looks to be a busy spot. Normally, places that I like is like Targets, Walmarts, any kind of shopping centers. In Anaheim, once Disneyland starts to slow down, I'll normally go out to like the outlets at Orange for a number of reasons. For one thing, I mean, someone's bound to need an Uber or Lyft there. Also, all of those locations have easy access to the bathrooms, and that's going to be important, especially if you're like me, who's constantly drinking dang Red Bulls and coffee and dang nicotine pouches. You want easy access to restrooms. Now, on the safety side, there are certain locations that I won't take rides in, just because I know that the area is going to be kind of shady. There are certain areas that I might take rides in the day, but I won't take rides at night, because again, I know that the type of clientele that you're going to be getting. So far, I haven't had too many bad experiences. I have had a couple where one rider in particular picked up a ride, got him pretty close to where the original location was, but then he asked me for a favor, and he basically told me like he needs to drop off his backpack at his aunt's house close by the drop-off location. And then he goes inside. I'm waiting for like 5 minutes and nothing, and then he sends a text saying, "Hey man, I can't really afford this ride, so I'm just gonna cancel." I'm like, well, man, like, we're less than half a mile away from the original destination. So I'm like thinking about it, and then I just hit swipe to complete the ride right then and there. So luckily I didn't lose out on anything, but you will get stuff like that where people will try to cancel the rides. The other safety aspect is Uber and Lyft offer an option to require a PIN for anyone that gets into your car. Turn that on. For Lyft, it's a little bit of a roundabout way to do it. You have to go into, I think it was the account settings, or the safety settings. But for Uber, it's a lot easier, because you just have to go into the app settings. Definitely turn that on, just to make sure that you're getting the right riders. And it really just, they can use your name, they can ask you for your name, and you can ask them for their name, but it just makes sure that the right person is getting into your car. And then also, if they try to cancel it, they might try to claim, oh, like I got into the wrong car. At least they can't, because it's all verified. And then definitely have a dash cam. The Tesla has cameras all over the outside, so I'm not super worried about any type of issues coming up if I were to get into an accident. But then you want a camera that's going to be able to record the inside, because if something goes sideways, you have multiple angles to back your story up. The cameras will record the audio also, so like keep it clean, keep it professional. Even if something does go sideways, that way you have a foolproof defense for whatever happens. And if you have to cancel a ride, don't be afraid to cancel a ride, because maybe you pull up to a location and the individual looks kind of shady, or a little bit weird. Again, I haven't run into too many of those, but there have been a couple where I probably should have. Luckily, nothing happened. But then you can't be afraid to cancel rides for whatever reason, for safety, or you just get a bad feeling, because really these days, with everything going on in the world, you just never know. So also on that note, I usually keep this. Let me see if I can find it. I should have it right. Freaking pepper spray. Again, because we're not allowed to carry guns in California, or it's really difficult to get your concealed carry license, and I don't know if it's against not Tesla's rules, but against Uber and Lyft's rules. Again, pepper spray is ideal because it gives you that standoff distance. So in my case, the idea is that I'll drop the car and park, because my car requires a PIN to drive, so they're not going to get away with my car. Unless there's some super tech-savvy individual, which even then they're not going to have enough time. So if someone does start getting kind of in your face, you got to use the same thing that law enforcement does, the escalation of force, right? You use your words first, you try to get yourself out of it, use that verbal jiu-jitsu. But if that really doesn't work and someone wants to get physical, then at least a pepper spray is a non-lethal option that's going to give you some distance. And just give you that space to consider the next moves. So that, I think, covers the gist of the system that you should have in place. I'm by no means an expert, but I feel confident now, after having done this for about 2 months now, that I have a good system in place. Yeah, I'm running this for 60 hours a week, so it's probably not the best system, but it's the system that works for me. And I don't plan on doing this like really long term, because this is crazy. But I am making a good amount of money. Like I posted on the picture of my spreadsheet. So I think that about covers it for now. I mean, this video is already at 13 minutes, so I don't want to make it too long. But yeah, if you have any questions, this is going to be the only video that I have up on my channel for a while. So definitely feel free to drop questions in the comments. But I mean, really, questions of substance, please. I mean, like, I already went over where I'm located, where I'm pretty much driving. I'll even post a picture of my car. I don't think there's anything that's going to be really too bad with regards to security if I do that. I mean, the car is definitely unique because of the decorations that I've got on it. I think I'm at the point where the guard gates at like the Grand Disney Hotel and that other resort hotel, they kind of know me now. And they always say, hey, you're not supposed to be dropping people off here if they're going to downtown Disney. But look, they want to get dropped off there, I'm going to drop them off there. I'm going to give them that warning first that, hey, they're going to ask a lot of questions. They're going to want to see reservations. But if they say, hey, we're going to check out the hotel, the decorations in the hotel, like, what can I really say at that point? But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty fun job if you like driving and talking to a lot of different types of people, especially when the different conventions are here. Just the last couple of days, they had at the Anaheim Convention Center, right next to Disneyland, they had the High Rocks, which is a fitness competition. So I got to chat with a lot of those guys regarding like fitness stuff. They also had like this tax convention, and a couple of guys that I was taking around offered to give me like tax advice too, which is cool. Because you do have to file your own taxes. You are going to get a 1099 come tax time. So yeah, and on that note too, also make sure that you're setting aside what you estimate is going to require. You're going to have to pay in taxes. Right now, I've actually got the subscription to the Solo app, which tracks the miles automatically, and then also the rides, what you're making on rides. I don't think it's 100% accurate, which is why I'm still keeping the Excel spreadsheet just in case. But I know now that I've hit the diamond level on Uber, I think I should be able to get 50% off for the TurboTax and then the QuickBooks. So I'm gonna probably download those and see like how well those track everything, and then start inputting all of the receipts that I have so that I can deduct every possible thing. Does that, hold on, when I took notes, well, does that cover about everything? Yeah. Oh, and then yeah, if you want to talk to the more like expert guys, few channels that I learned from is Driver Eddie, Tippy in the apps, and then the rideshare guy, which I think it's actually multiple guys that are posting videos on that channel. They have a lot of the more technical stuff, and they've done all of the experiments, which is why I kind of know like how the system actually screws drivers over a lot of the times. But sometimes it does work. But like I said, I'm making a decent amount of money, so I'm still able to survive off of this, doing this full time. So it's not that bad. But yeah, definitely check those guys out. And then also, I'm gonna take a picture of it once I'm done charging. The Uber and Lyft sign, I don't think it's required at this point, but on Etsy, if you want a good acrylic Uber and Lyft sign, and then he also has like custom made like light up signs that run off of batteries, and also ones that you can plug into your car. A good one to check out, or a good shop to check out, is Micromaster Models on Etsy. That's where I got my Uber and Lyft little acrylic sign that I have stuck up on my window. That again, I'll post a picture of that to show you what that looks like. But yeah. If, like I said, if you have any questions, just drop it in the comments below, and then I'll get back to you probably as soon as I see your questions. Thanks.